How did a polar bear catch bird flu? Which other animal yawns loudly? And why do dogs wag their tails? What a wild week. Welcome to What a Wild Week, a weekly series where I summarise some of the biggest stories to come out of the natural world each week. Up first, the first polar bear has died from bird flu. So what does this mean? In a world already grappling with the impacts of climate change, there's an unlikely new challenge affecting the iconic polar bear. Not only are they battling the impacts of a warming planet, but they now face a new threat: bird flu. In northern Alaska, the first polar bear was confirmed dead from the H5N1 influenza virus. This strain is known for affecting a wide range of species, including several mammals, such as otters, foxes, mink, and seals. It raises questions about the implication for not only polar bears, but other large mammals, including humans. In humans, cases have been detected, showing either mild symptoms or have been asymptomatic. But the question on everyone's mind is why such a diverse impact across species? And what does the death of a single polar bear mean for the larger ecosystem? Influenza viruses, known for their adaptability, undergo random genetic mutations like many other organisms, but also via the mechanism of reassortment. Reassortment is where closely related viruses exchange genetic information in order to create new genomes. This can lead to the virus becoming better adapted to invade, survive, and replicate within a host species. The current H5N1 strain's ability to affect different bird species is attributed to this adaptability. However, specific genetic changes are required for avian influenza viruses to become better adapted to mammalian hosts, a development not yet observed in this strain. So, how did the polar bear catch it? The affected mammals, including carnivores like the polar bear, are likely encountering the virus through scavenging on infected carcasses. Seabird colonies suffering from H5N1 outbreaks become a potential hotspot, where scavengers like seals and polar bears may unknowingly ingest the virus while eating the carcass. H5N1 has caused huge numbers of seabird deaths at a very, very rapid rate. This means that the likelihood of a seal or polar bear finding and eating an infected carcass is obviously pretty high. Imagine you're a seal. Hear me out. You and your pod are hungry and you're looking for food across the Arctic. All of a sudden, you come across a large group of dead birds. Your job's already done. As the seal pod devours the H5N1 infected birds, each individual is unknowingly ingesting and inhaling a huge viral load. Those massive viral loads may then overrun the seal's immune system, leading to rapid infection and death, without the infection even being passed between the seals. The recent demise of the polar bear in Alaska raises questions about the source of infection, whether through consuming infected birds or seals. Genetic testing and comparison with other viruses in the region may shed light on the potential spread of H5N1 in the Arctic. While the consequences of this death remain uncertain, ongoing surveillance of H5N1 is crucial. The adaptation of the virus into mammalian species, including humans, could have severe consequences. As we witness the devastating impact on seabird populations, the stakes are high for polar bears, and for us. Let's not underestimate the adaptability of influenza viruses, as the key to our safety lies in staying one step ahead. Loud yawns produced by a non-human species could convey social information. Yawns. We all know them, and most of us have succumbed to the contagious power of a big, wide yawn. This phenomenon is known as yawn contagion. But did you ever think other animals could catch the yawning bug too? Well, it turns out they can. From apes and monkeys to pigs and wolves, yawning is not just limited to humans. Meet the geladas, the only species other than humans known to audibly yawn. In other words, yawn loudly. These old world monkeys, also known as bleeding heart monkeys, reside in Ethiopia and live in complex multi-level societies. A team of researchers have conducted a study to explore how the sound of gelada yawns affect their fellow geladas. The goal? To find out whether the sound of yawning, without a visual cue, in other words, without seeing another monkey yawn, results in this same contagious response, only seen in humans. Geladas live in units, teams, bands, and communities, much like our own social structures, really. The researchers hypothesized that, similar to humans, audible yawns might trigger a contagious response without the visual cue. To put this to the test, they conducted experiments at Germany's Nature Zoo, home to the world's largest captive gelada colony. 33 geladas, randomly selected from 2 enclosures, became the stars of the study. The researchers played the geladas recorded male yawning sounds, as audible yawns usually come from males. They then watched, waited, and observed the reactions. Astonishingly, they found the audible yawn contagion exists among geladas, making them the only species beside humans to experience this phenomenon. The study revealed that a mere sound of a yawn triggers contagious yawning in geladas. The researchers noted that audible yawns led to more yawns, a higher likelihood of yawning, and equal levels of contagiousness in both males and females. What's even more intriguing is that geladas yawned more in response to individuals from their own group, hinting at the role of group membership in audible yawn contagion. The researchers believe the audible yawn contagion might serve a social purpose in both geladas and humans. It's a reminder that the animal kingdom has its own language, and sometimes a yawn says more than words ever could. Why do dogs wag their tails? A wagging tail. A universal sign of a happy pup. Or is it? What does this behaviour truly mean? Why do dogs do it? And what's the science behind it? A team of biologists, life scientists, and animal researchers have united their brainpower to try and work out why. Dogs, as we know, often wag their tails during reunions with their owners or their doggy pals. The general consensus amongst scientists is that tail wagging is a form of communication. But the evolutionary journey of tail wagging is where things get interesting. Wolves and foxes, close relatives of dogs, don't seem to do much tail wagging at all. This has led scientists to believe that the tail wagging trait seen in dogs emerged during the human domestication process. Researchers sifted through various studies seeking answers to the tail wagging riddle. Surprisingly, no concluding answer emerged, and still, no one really knows how or why dogs picked up this characteristic trait. However, the team uncovered intriguing evidence suggesting that tail wagging may have sprouted during domestication. Silver foxes, raised in captivity over multiple generations, tend to exhibit more tail wagging than their wild counterparts, shedding light on the influence of domestication on this behaviour. But the plot thickens. Supposedly, dogs aren't just wagging aimlessly. They've got a rhythm to their wag, favouring the right when happy or content, and the left when anxious or afraid. Hormone testing further revealed that tail-wagging dogs were more aroused and excited, confirming what we all suspected. Tails tell tales of joy and enthusiasm. One eyebrow-raising theory proposes that humans inadvertently selected for more tail wagging through selective breeding because, well, we simply adore the rhythmic behaviour. Who can resist a happy rhythmic tail beat? Well, our ancestors supposedly couldn't. The researchers emphasised the need for stronger evidence to pinpoint the exact origins of the wagging tail. So there you have it, those were some of the wildest stories from the week. Hit the like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you back here next week to catch you up on all things wild.